Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
I'm Wes.
And I'm Aaron.
We're Neverboard Gaming and we're talking about Leaders of Euphoria on Kickstarter right now. Or at the very least at the time of this recording. If you're watching this in like 2018, what are you doing? Leaders of Euphoria is a good cop, bad cop game. Good Cop, Bad Cop is a social deduction game set in the Euphoria universe. Aaron, we don't have a copy of Euphoria. If you've ever played any games like The Resistance or Coup or Werewolf where, you get a hidden role. You're either Team Red or you're Team Blue. In this game, it's Euphorians or the Subterraneans. Theme! Unlike Resistance or Werewolf, where you only get one card that tells you what team you're on. And here you actually will get three. They'll be face down, and the majority of which will tell you what team you're on. So if you have two reds and one blue, hey, guess what? You're Team Red. And obviously if you have two blues and one red, you're Team Blue.
But you get trumped by the leader cards. Even if you have two reds and a blue, but your blue is the subterranean leader, then obviously you're a subterranean because you can't be the leader of the subterraneans and secretly against the subterraneans.
Yeah. That would be insane! And the significance of the respective leaders is whatever team you're on. If you're Team Red, you want to protect your leader and you want to kill the other leader. If you're Team Blue, same thing. That's the whole point. And what's best about it is in Werewolf or The Resistance, there are, times when people close their eyes and then open it so one team knows who they are, like the werewolves know who they are, the spies know who they are, and here, everybody gets handed their roles face down and then the game starts.
Yeah, nobody knows, so then you have to start inspecting each other and finding out, and you're like, oh, I know that's the leader. If you're my leader and I can inspect that, I'm not going to tell people that. I'm just going to use that knowledge.
But of course, as me being the leader, I just saw that you just saw my leader card. I'm like, I don't know what he. I don't know who he is.
If I don't try and kill you, then you assume
and I just saw that you just saw what his card was, and that he knows that you just saw, but I don't know that he knows.
You go around taking your turns, and on your turns, you take one action. That action can be to peek at somebody else's identity card. That action could be to pick up a gun. But one of the main actions it could be is to pick up an artifact card. This is probably the best part of the game, is because, slowly we're going to learn information. We're going to figure out who is who and who's on what teams. We're going to start arming ourselves with guns. We're going to try and shoot the respective leaders. I mean, don't you want to shoot your friends? I'll do it! So all those actions are fun, but what's really fun is messing with all of that, and that's what the artifact cards do. They let you force people to drop the guns, or, oh, you just shot me? No, I'm not shot. They will let you swap the cards, so, oh, you're Team Blue? Well, hey, let me watch. Now you're Team Red.
And I think that's like one of the craziest things, that you just swap cards around. So, and because you have three and the majority is what team you're on, you can start swapping and change majority and flip-flop people's teams. Really hard to keep track of who has what. And the switching roles can be especially crazy, because if you have one of the guns pointed at somebody, and then somebody else switches your team, and now you're pointing your gun at a teammate, you spend a whole other turn changing who you're pointing the gun at before you can pull the trigger.
I once had one guy just still pull the trigger because they're like,
I don't care.
I'm like, no, you don't understand. You're on Team Red now, so that you don't want that person to die. He's like, yeah, but I already have my gun out.
Speaking of guns, these things are pretty sweet. Like, I like the cutouts and everything and the standees, but if you get the premium edition, the deluxe edition, this is a printout of the awesome mini.
You don't get this actual piece of paper.
They just send you this, you get this.
Look at how awesome that looks, right? That is real size. That is what it's like. Think about actually holding this gun and pointing that gun at people instead of this. The ultimate premium deluxe, super duper double olive. One of the biggest differences I noticed between Leaders of Euphoria and the original Good Cop, Bad Cop is that in Good Cop, Bad Cop, one of the things that would tend to happen a lot is we would usually play it, multiple rounds back to back to back, right? Like, 5 or 8 games in a row. So a lot of the times people would just grab guns and just start shooting wildly, right? I don't know if you're on my team or whatever, but I don't care. Let's just start shooting, right? If you got shot in Good Cop, Bad Cop, you were out for the round, you died, which, again, wasn't that big a deal. It was like, 10 minutes before the next game anyways, whatever. However, in this game, in Leaders of Euphoria, you get shot and you are not the, the leader for either team. There's no player elimination. What will happen is you take your reference card and you flip it over, because you are now a Wastelander. Is a third, somewhat factionless team where your main goal in order to win is to kill either of these guys. It doesn't matter who. You just need to kill one of them and then you win.
You hate everyone.
That's
Yeah,
true.
It makes it way easier to win for your team.
It really is. For your team, that's true, because it's the Wastelander team. Unless some of these funky artifact cards pass a leader card to you, then you win individually. So there is somewhat of that, you're on my team, but Wastelanders aren't really, that loyal to each other, right? There's still a little bit of a backstabby aspect to it. But it really eliminates that, let's just start shooting wildly.
Because think really hard before you shoot someone, because the more Wastelanders there are, the easier it is for them to win, therefore the harder it is for your team to win, and the easier it is for your team to actually lose. So you have to be really careful when you shoot someone to make sure, do I want to add one more bad person to the other person, to that third team?
Right, so it does make this game a lot more strategic than the original Good Cup, Bad Cup. Now, it's still a social deduction game, so there's a lot of bluffing and lying and silliness and playing the players and not the game, but this does cut out a lot of that, I'm drunk, who cares, you know?
That's the only way I've played this one. This game works really well with people who haven't played a lot of games.
Really?
Yeah. The first time we played this, that I got to play, I played with my girlfriend, and she had never really played much. She hadn't played any social deduction games, and she got it. She picked it up and played it and had a blast.
And then I shot her in the face. And then we kept playing the game.
Yeah.
Well, my real question, guys, is does this have a place on our gaming shelf?
I definitely think it does. We've said this in a couple of our videos before. You can never have enough social deduction games.
Really?
I feel like whenever we play social deduction games, we never play one round. It's always like a few hours, it seems like, of playing the game over and over and over and over again. Because some people can lose really quickly, and some people are getting strategies, and the meta changes every single time you play, because what happened in the last game is going to affect what happens this game. Because you go, oh, you did this last game and you were this, so maybe you're that again.
Yeah.
And you're doing this that person did. So they work really well to play over and over and over again. But because of that, I've burned out so many social deduction games. Not permanently, but we need a new one to break in to let that one kind of get its newness back. So I think that you should always have a continuous cycle of social deduction games, and this one definitely can just slide right into that revolving door of social deduction, like small box games.
That was so good. Man.
So this game is definitely a boredom killer.
You guys gotta back this campaign, it's really sweet. Get the premium deluxe edition with its cool special giant guns. They look super awesome. I can't wait to see how those turn out.
Yeah, and even if you already have Good Cop, Bad Cop, I mean, clearly we have Good Cop, Bad Cop. We clearly have this. Well, this is a prototype, but we're going to be backing it. And hey, subscribe to our channel and you'll never be bored.
Speaking of guns, these things are pretty...
Can we have one